Floyd William Butzloff. That was the name on his birth certificate. But we didn't use that name. We used names like Bill, William, Billy, Butts or Butsy, the Zowie Man, Big Bill. But we also use names like Pops and Dad and Grandpa Bill. And of course, Bill. Even though we knew Bill had different names, we all had different names for Bill, there were some things we knew to be true about Bill. We knew that he loved golf, and he was really good at it too. Growing up, literally, we had a TV in every room because he kept winning on the golf tournaments. We all knew what to get Bill for Christmas. It was a bottle of Black Label, simple. We all knew what he was watching on Saturday during the football season. Roll Tide. Roll Tide. We all knew Bill loved dogs, and some would say more than people. But the one thing that was true about Bill, he loved to meet people. He was modern day Forrest Gump. He met people from all walks of life. He met politicians, Gerald Ford. He met Congressman Porter and Senator Percy from Illinois. He met actors too and actresses. He met Elvis Presley. He met Vera Garson. He also met, not necessarily to his pleasure or his wanting, he met mobsters and hitmen. And also he met a number of different athletes. He met people like Walter Payton and Joe Namath. He met Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer. He even had the opportunity to meet his boy-time hero, Ted Williams. It's easy to see why Bill met so many people. We all know that he could walk into a bar, into a restaurant, and within minutes strike up a conversation with a complete stranger and become best of friends. God truly bestowed the gift of gab on Bill. And like Forrest Gump, the stories that Bill told were captivating and humorous. He used to talk about when he was little, went to go live with his family on a farm, and very shortly thereafter realized he was never going to do that again. He also talked about growing up how he and his mother, his Aunt Dot, and his cousin Jerry, they would move from town to town. And at that time, he learned that being a good athlete was the surest and quickest way to make friends, regardless of what side of the tracks you lived on. He sometimes would tell a story from high school. He would talk about how he was seduced by an older classmate. If you haven't heard that one, see me afterwards, we'll talk. And of course, Bill was proud of the service that he did with the United States Army, his deployment to Korea. I'm sure we all heard the stories about how he discovered a new uncharted level of seasickness on his way from San Francisco to Korea. We also heard the stories of how baseball literally saved his life when he was in Korea. After his time at the service, and after college, after Indiana, he started working at Shell. In the early days of Shell, he moved around from town to town, city to city, doing different jobs. And he talked about one of the moves that he made. For some reason, he decided to put a cat, a dog, a bird, and a goldfish, and his daughter Sherry into a car and drive from Birmingham, Alabama to Chicago. Sure, that was a trip. He had the opportunity when he was in Chicago to move up in Shell, to move to different cities, different places, but he chose not to. Instead, he chose to make his roots here in Chicago, and as a result, Shell prospered, and the dealers loved him. But there were some people in Chicago that did not love Bill. No, those were the golfers that played in the Thorngate and Ivanhoe Invitationals. Every year, he and Schutzenhofer would just clean them out. After Shell, Bill would tell stories about the great successes they were having at Royal Bang. He would also talk about the trips that he and Vivian would take to Hawaii, the Bahamas, their trip to China, trip to Europe, their Danube River cruise. They even talk about his condo that they shared in Naples for a period of time. And of course, during all this, he would talk about the family vacations, the trips that we would take to Lagomar, the walks on the beach, watching Seinfeld, and I still don't believe it, looking for a toenail with the ankle biters, what he called his grandchildren. There were many stories that we had with Bill. and Bill met many people, it's easy to see that he had a fulfilling life. And while we all knew these things about Bill, we all knew the common thread of Bill. Each one of us had our own unique relationship with him. For me, I'm grateful for one thing that he taught me. You see, God made Bill and I differently. Bill is a marketing person through and through, and I'm an engineer to the core. During my wedding, at the speech he gave at my wedding, Bill talked about how he literally cried when he heard that I was moving out, because now he would have to be the one to stick his hand in the toilet to unclog it. In spite of this difference, in spite of these differences, I truly did learn something from Bill that I'm truly honored for. I'm grateful for it. Bill taught me how to listen and how to be patient. To me, there is no one in this world better at either of those two skills than Bill. And for that, I am truly thankful and blessed that I have Bill in my life. And with that, I want to say happy trails, Big Bill. Until we meet again. Thank you.